Alexander, and it is opening weekend of the Jungle Cruise, which is why I'm sitting in the dark in the wilds of my backyard to just give you my 2-cent opinion on Disney's latest release. As you may well know, that Jungle Cruise is a ride that is at Disneyland. It is not my most favorite ride. It is a ride that I have enjoyed throughout the years. I think most importantly because it's not too far from the Tiki Room and the Pineapple Dole Whip, which is one of my favorite parts of Adventureland. But the ride is mostly known because it was one of the first rides at Disneyland, and it does have a bit of nostalgia to it. It's not terribly exciting. It's just a lot of corny jokes on top of corny jokes, har har har, and you're on a boat and you see some animatronic things, which when 1955 was like, wow. And then, you know, when I'm a kid in the 80s, it was kind of like, cool, right, okay. So we heard there's going to be a movie. The trailers look great. Dwayne Johnson's in it. Let's have a go. And I am so excited to say that it is a delightful adventure. An adventure it is. If you've never been on the Jungle Cruise, the first opening sequence in the jungle, that's the ride. That is exactly the ride every step of the way, which was great. A lot of the actiony scenes that I thought were like the end, the big climactic bits, were actually in the beginning. So throughout the movie, I wasn't quite sure what was next. And they did take some twists and turns I wasn't expecting. So that was quite a thrill. I'm not sure if I necessarily liked those twists and turns. I'm still thinking over it. And I do have an opinion why it is. And I think the biggest thing, because I don't want to give too many spoilers away, because I want you all to enjoy it and form your own opinion, but there is a rather big twist in it, and I think it is the fact that it is because Dwayne Johnson is the character that made me kind of go, really? Okay, right. So Dwayne Johnson in it being what he does best, which is him. Fine, that's why you go to see it, because if you're expecting anything more, he's a great, lovely, generous man, so I've heard, and he does what he does, and he does it well. That's what he does here. Emily Blunt's great. Jack Whitehall is playing his father. If you've ever seen Travels with My Father, Jack Whitehall is playing his father, and I found it humorous. I think the only big main story drag I had was you had Lily, Emily Blunt's character, who was written as anytime you have this sort of character, male or female, in this case it happens to female, is not one of my favorite characters, which is, I am hiring you because you're a supposed expert at what you do, but I'm going to second guess and tell you're wrong the whole step of the way. I really dislike that sort of character. So I couldn't really get behind Lily at the beginning of the movie. She does get a little bit better towards the end, but there was an awful lot of that at the beginning. So for me personally, that's not my favorite type of character. But she does it well, but I'm not really into that kind of a character. Also, I think it suffers for that there may be a few too many villains because the movie did feel long. It is action-packed. It is action-packed the whole time, which was kind of great, but it did get a little bit repetitive. Also, it's a lot more intense. The action scenes a little bit more not gory. It is not gory at all, but there's quite a few jump scares, and if you're used to jump scares, you know when they're coming. You know when those jump scares are coming. But if you're a tiny child and you intend to bring your tiny children, they haven't learned the cues of when somebody's going to scare them. And I think the violence and the action that is in it may be really intense for younger viewers. So if you're planning to take kids who are under 10, I think your best bet may be to buy the access on Disney Plus, so that when you're home, it's not that in your face, as opposed where I am, where I'm in the Dolby Theater and a panther comes out and the whole seat purrs as it's going to attack. Which is cool, unless you're a small, tiny child, I can think would be rather frightened. And the special effects reminded me a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean, those monster zombie pirates, now we've got monster zombie jungle infested conquistadors. Very, very similar vibe. It's just the animation and the scare part of it was amped up quite a bit. Again, visually great, awesome, just way more intense than I was anticipating. But other than that, it's beautiful, it's charming, it's really, really a beautiful film. Really a beautiful film. And the action scenes are quite well. As somebody who wanted to be a stunt woman as a child, I appreciated all the stunt work that was involved. And yeah, it's just a really good, fun time. Very enjoyable. And I say go ahead and shell out that extra money and go see it at the Dolby Theater so you can get to rumble with it. And with that, so if you've seen it, if you're going to see it, please drop me a comment. Tell me what you thought about it and what your favorite part or least favorite part might have been, because I would like to hear from you. And I'm glad you joined me for this little bit of time. Hit like and subscribe because it will let you know when I'm doing more of these again, because the movie theaters are open. Did wear a mask just to be on the safe side, but I am enjoying my theater going experience. And so now the only thing that they left out, at least that I saw, but I made up for it later, I have my Dole Whip. So my evening is now complete. So thanks again, y'all. Until next time. Dole Whip. Oh, it's so cold. It's so cold.